It's your coach, it's your friend, it's the hybrid checking in. So in today's video, guys, we're going to learn how to properly squat, specifically a max effort squat, which of course means it can be applied to a general squat as well. So I've always thought that I could squat. I mean, in high school, I squatted 500 pounds at 165. So I've always thought that I could squat well. However, over the last 5 years, I've really learned what it means to squat. I've really, just honed in on my squat technique from different, friends and coaches in training, and that's what I'm presenting to you today. What I've learned over the past years, guys. So whenever you're getting ready to squat, in these videos, first off, I want you to really notice how I get set up each time, and just really make note of how it looks identical each and every time, as that's going to be something that you definitely want to mimic. First thing, guys, is equipment. Equipment's going to make a big difference in your squat performance, especially when you're going to be going out for a max effort lift. So guys, by equipment I mean, footwear, belt, knee wraps, wrist wraps. That's going to be your equipment. So for footwear, guys, I highly recommend you get a pair of Olympic lifting shoes. Doesn't matter which brand, whichever one you feel most comfortable in. I don't like a very high heel. I like these as they have a pretty low heel, but they do have a heel, and they have a nice, flat, sturdy bottom. The only thing I definitely recommend against would be using, your tennis shoes. They're going to be, they're there to cushion your feet. So if you use those, you're likely going to have your knees cave in and you're going to feel wobbly, which is something you probably don't want to feel when you have 400, 500, or 600 pounds on your back. So definitely either I'd say, the Olympic shoes, Converse work as well. Although some people roll over in those, or the metal deadlift shoe is another great option. So the reason for the Oli shoes is that they put you in a great position for squatting, and they allow you to really push your heel down into the floor and set up. So the next piece of equipment we're going to look at is a great belt. So a belt is going to give you something that you can brace, for your core to brace against, which is going to help to protect your lower back and ultimately, hopefully, should keep you more upright throughout the squat. So the belt that I recommend, guys, would be an Inzer lever lock belt or just a single prong belt, and you want to go with 10 to 13 millimeters thick and 4 inches wide. Something I've learned is that you definitely, the belt doesn't go around your waist. It's going to go right where you're going to start to push out. So you want to find where your abdominal wall pushes out and put your belt around that area. Just raising it up those 2 or 3 inches I found has made a huge difference. It's made me feel a lot more secure throughout the lift, and my weight has definitely increased. As you get more proficient in squatting, you'll see that it's the really small things that make a huge difference, and especially when you're going for a max effort lift. Final pieces of equipment, wrist wraps. There are many wrist wraps out there. They're just going to help you to keep your wrist straighter and cut down on wrist and elbow pain. I definitely recommend wrist wraps, especially if you're a low bar squatter. If you're high bar, definitely optional. Chalk is definitely also recommended for low bar squats. It's gonna, I'd say, chalk your back. It's gonna help keep the bar from rolling down, keep it in place on your back. If you're a high bar squatter, it's definitely gonna be optional. That's it for equipment. So once you have all of that stuff in place, guys, you are now actually ready to finally start to squat. So if you've been asleep for the beginning part of the video, now is the time to wake up this is where you're going to really get all the valuable information. Your setup. You'll notice in each and every video, watch my setup. It's been identical. It's been, you know, like a robot-like. And that's how you want your setup to be, always the same. You don't want to just jump under the bar, kind of step back, maybe taking 5 steps, 6 steps, and then squatting, because that's not something that you do. It's something you want to be able to repeat each and every set. So once you get under the bar, you want to get under the bar, get in the proper position, get the bar in the right place on your back. And something I learned in CrossFit about midline stabilization. So your midfoot is basically your center of gravity. So that's where you want the bar to be, over your midfoot. So you're going to get set up under the bar, take a deep breath in, squeeze your glutes forward to get the bar off the rack. Once you get it off the rack, you take a deep breath, kind of let the weight settle, and then you're going to step back. And I like to do the 3-step approach. It's easy, and it's something that you can repeat each and every time. So you take one small step back with one foot, settle the weight in, take a step back with the other foot, and then move that first foot to line up with the second foot. Once your feet are in that position, you can adjust them a tad bit, but not too much. And from there, guys, you're actually finally ready to squat. So we've gone through the equipment and the proper setup, and in part 2 we'll discuss hip drive, knees, the bar position, and your breathing, as well as the mental aspect involved in a max effort squat, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Subscribe, leave your comments. Definitely check out my sponsors, King Kong at KingKongApparel.com, the best bags and apparel out, hands down, and Anderson Powerlifting at AndersonPowerlifting.com.